In this video, we're going to take a quick look at how to memorize a speech or anything for that matter in just 5 minutes. To memorize anything, you need two things. You need the power of association and you need an imagination. And when I talk about imagination, if you can close your eyes and just think of your front door, and I'm not talking about the details, no, just the front door. If you can differentiate your front door in your memory to the other ones, then that's about all the visualization you need, because what we're going to do is we're going to split this video in two. The first part is we have to go back and think about what is the place that we know inside out. We know this more than anything else in the world. Well, it's your house, because no matter where you go, you always come back to your home base. That's your landing pod, and you know it inside out. You use it every day. You walk through the doors, you interact with different objects, you open the cupboards and the fridge, so you know your home inside out. So what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to bookmark 5 places in the house. And you can do this along with me, just so you know, but I'm going to take you through my house and the 5 places that I have identified, so we can quickly then bookmark those places. You can close your eyes if you want to, you can keep them open, but let's do this. If I look at my house, the first thing I remember is the front door. And the front door in the picture isn't my house, but in my imagination, I can imagine my first door. So that becomes my first bookmark. As I walk past that front door, the second thing on the right side is a huge full body mirror. And that's the second thing. I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to bookmark that as my second location. The third thing as I walk past this mirror is the door to my living room. And I'm going to make that the third location in my memory. As I open this door, I can see on the other side is my TV on my TV stand. So that becomes my location number 4. And finally, as I look up onto the wall just next to the TV is a photo frame, which becomes my location number 5. So that's the first part, is to identify common places within your house that you can bookmark. The second part to this is once you've summarized your speech and boiled it down to, let's say, 5 items, and that's what we're going to pick. For this video, I'm going to just pretend that I'm delivering a speech about my struggle to give up dairy. I was born in India, I love milk, and let's just pretend that I'm trying to give up dairy, and I'm going to do a speech which boils down to 5 things. And these 5 things are beer, I've got milk, I've got fish, and then I've got feta cheese, and then lastly I've got Biopart yogurt. So now I'm going to go back through my locations and just place these objects wherever my locations are. So the first part is the opening of my speech, which is beer. It's a joke about being drunk and how milk is at least not as bad as beer. So I'm going to place that case of beer on my front door. Then I'm going to open the door and come into the house. As I look at the big full-size mirror, I just imagine myself drinking milk as I put on weight. So that triggers the second point, which is milk. The third thing is the door to my living room. As I look at the door, I think of fish. So I'm just thinking of vegan versus vegetarian. If you're born in India, then you don't count fish as part of the vegetarian diet. It's out. But in England it's different. You can have fish. So that's my third point, which the door will remind me of. So I just imagine a fish placed near the door, and then as I open the door, I look at the TV and I see Jamie Oliver just cutting thin slices of feta cheese, which is the next point about feta cheese and how it's supposed to be good even though it's dairy. And lastly, as I look up to the frame, I think of yogurt, which is the conclusion or the final point of my speech. So what I've done now is I've taken a familiar journey that I'm very much used to, and I've associated the 5 points for my speech and encoded them onto the journey. And using this method, I can just go back and forth to any point and quickly recall that because I know my house inside out. Using this method, you can just quickly go in, identify 5 or 6 places in your house, and when it comes to doing a speech, you can go in and populate those areas with the objects from your speech. It could be bullet points or whatever it is. What if you have just a tiny list like this? Well, if you have a tiny list like this, you don't actually need to walk around the house. You may just choose your room. Maybe you have a cupboard with 5 different sections. Well, you can have 5 different points on those sections. Or your room has a coffee table and fridge or whatever you have in your room. You can place those objects on it. Try not to move things around in terms of your location. So number 1 stays that front door for me because I don't want to confuse my journey, because I'll be needing that for the second part. And what if you now want to do a longer one? Well, you can, because this is just a small section of my house. I can continue that list on. And if you're delivering a workshop which goes for an hour and you have more than, let's say, 20 points to remember, well, you can leave the house and take your journey to work, for example, where every junction now becomes a different point on your list. And there you have it, how you can remember a speech in just 5 minutes. Thank you for watching this, and before you go, I just want to say I send out weekly newsletters, so make sure you go on the website and put in your email address so these videos will come to you before it goes to anyone else. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.